accountability, demands that people who are responsible for this, officials and agents, etc., would actually be held accountable. And so all of this secrecy, which is onerous and is retarding the legal process in the military commissions, is in order to keep the public in the dark. And so, in fact, the government now has submitted a protective order, which is being litigated at Guantanamo, about how the defendants' memories can actually be talked about. And the government argues the accused were exposed to classified intelligence sources and methods while they were in CIA custody, and thus are in a position to be able to publicly reveal this highly classified information through their own statements. In other words, the government is essentially arguing as though the defendants partnered with the CIA in this secret operation, and the defendants don't have the authority to declassify these statements. So that's essentially what the government's argument is in trying to persuade the military judge to keep their memories and their statements classified from the public. Now, when, so these, in the courts themselves, whenever the defendants speak, anybody who's observers, not in the courtroom, but behind soundproof glass on a time delay or watching from remote things, doesn't hear, anything, for 40 seconds, but also there can be, in fact, a blackout. And in fact, the first time a judge realized this was at a hearing for Ramzi bin al-Shibh when his lawyer stood up in the courtroom in military commission and began talking about the protracted sleep deprivation that Ramzi bin al-Shibh had been subjected to, specifically around the question of whether Ramzi bin al-Shibh is now crazy. And in fact, if you ask Ramzi bin al-Shibh's lawyers, is Ramzi bin al-Shibh crazy? I heard he's crazy. They will be like, I can neither confirm nor deny anything about my client's medical condition. But in the courtroom, the lawyer was talking about the sleep deprivation and its, long-term effects on Ramzi bin al-Shibh. And all of a sudden, the audio goes dead in the courtroom. And the judge looks around and looks at the translator and and then they realize that in fact the CIA, or another government agency, OGA, was basically monitoring and has a kill switch in the courtroom where it can kill the audio, unconnected to the trial, entirely to preserve the secrecy and unaccountability and impunity of the CIA. And even the degree to which the CIA is going to be able to continue blocking out audio from these trials is one of the issues that is currently being litigated. And finally, with al-Nashiri, among the many things that al-Nashiri was subjected to was he was, sort of during interrogation while naked and tied up, agents held a automatic, handgun to his head and an electric drill and so on. So even these are the two things when the Obama administration ultimately decided that they were going to look into, that they were going to give the Bush administration and everything that had been done during the Bush years a free pass, except for those specific things that had gone even beyond what John Yoo in the Office of Legal Counsel had said was okay. And one of those things was mock execution. So al-Nashiri was subjected to mock execution. And in the end, Eric Holder decided not to prosecute those CIA